Hey everybody, I got to do a little vent today. Not gonna call it a rant, just a vent. Past few days I've been getting attacked quite often by atheists and evolutionists, and man, they like using really big words when they hit you on these comments. I know they've got to have a thesaurus sitting beside them so they can pick out these really long words, you know. But some friends of mine, some born-again friends of mine, a few weeks back, we were discussing atheism and the theory of evolution and why it's taught in our schools. And my answer to it was, you know, it's simply greed. You know, Jesus Christ, God said that the root of all evil is money and the desire for it, which is greed. You know, a person that's born again of the Spirit is disconnected from the world. They're not concerned with what's going on in this world, and they're not concerned with buying things. A few uploads back, I did a video on, it was singing the song of fellowship. And in that upload, I read from the book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 42 through 47. And in those verses, it talks about the first 3,000 Christians that were water baptized and who had received the Holy Spirit. And all they were concerned with was worshiping God, spreading the good news, and loving and caring for one another. They weren't concerned anymore with buying and worshiping false gold and silver idols. They weren't concerned with you know, the latest chariots coming off the line in Rome. They weren't concerned with name brand sandals coming out of Rome or the latest robes coming out of Rome. They were only concerned about worshiping God. And in Acts chapter 19, verse 23 through 27, it talks about some of those silversmiths and some of those craftsmen that had been making those gold and silver idols, and they were complaining because people that were following the way, people that were on fire for God with the Holy Spirit, weren't buying their idols anymore, and it was killing their prophets. And the Roman Empire at the time was no different from what corporate America or the corporate world is today. You know, what makes their world go around is commerce and trade, and people buying and selling all the time. And so Rome's answer to the fire of the Holy Spirit, the way they intended on putting out that fire, was through persecution and killing of the Christians. And eventually Constantine stepped in and said, you know, we'll stop persecuting and killing you if you will add some of our pagan beliefs to the way. And unfortunately, the early church agreed to that. And by adding the pagan beliefs to the way, it watered down the true gospel, and it almost quenched the fire of the Holy Spirit. So it was business as usual again, because those same silversmiths and goldsmiths, the craftsmen, instead of making idols of Zeus and Jupiter and other demigods, they were making statues of the Virgin Mary, of the saints, and of crosses, and it was business as usual. So all throughout history, anytime a sporadic fire would flare up here or there of the Holy Spirit, greedy men would come in and try to put that fire out to keep it from spreading, because it killed prophets. Then back in the 50s and 60s, unfortunately, our parents and grandparents didn't put up a strong enough fight against a minority of people who were insisting that the theory of evolution be taught in our schools. And so for the past 50 years now, we've had a few generations of children who, since the age of 5 years old, have been taught the theory of evolution, and that they came from a monkey, and that monkey evolved from a puddle of mud out of nowhere. And so whenever you have people who are programmed to believe that, they don't believe in God, they don't believe in an afterlife, and they're only concerned about pleasing themselves today. And so someone that's an atheist or an evolutionist makes an awesome repeat customer for Walmart, for the mall. Someone who doesn't believe in God or an afterlife is concerned about the latest chariots coming off the line in Detroit. They're concerned about the latest name brand high tops in the mall, or the latest name brand clothes in the mall. And so now whenever you have people that don't believe in God or an afterlife, whenever they feel a conviction from God trying to call them, and they feel depression setting in, they feel a void inside that they're trying to fill, they don't know to call out to God because they don't believe in God. So instead of calling out to God, they call out to a doctor for pharmakia, and he's more than happy to write them a prescription for antidepressants to block the call from God and to keep the wheels of the capitalist society rolling. Unfortunately, we have to deal with atheists and evolutionists every day alongside with supposed Christians who worship a watered down gospel. We know who wins in the end. They can't ever put the fire out. But man, it sure can be tough at times. I love you guys. God bless you.